My name is Jacob Cook. I am a lecturer in Harvard Business School, and I teach the class Digital Marketing Workshop for MBA students. It's really hard to tell the stuff that comes out of a GPT if a human has written it or not, right? And if we've seen things what it can do with imagery and video and even PowerPoint presentations, GPT is very, very good. So I wouldn't be able to detect this if the students were cheating in effect, or just basically cutting and pasting things in. So the idea that dawned on me one time was to just flip the model and have them at a certain point in the semester when they've mastered a topic to see if they really truly understood it by based what the AI would return to them. And to measure that, I had them pick a challenge. They would go through, videotape themselves in a presentation, and then I could see as they were prompting it if they really understood the subject or not. The students were given the task of basically trying to use a GPT to try and figure out what would work for a marketing plan. So in this example, the student could pick anything they wanted and pretend they're the chief marketing officer. And in this example, it's Nest thermostats, the kind of smart thermostats that we all have in our homes. So the first step is they have to assign a role. So this kind of cues up the large language model or the GPT to know how to approach its responses. It gives it a scenario and a boundary condition. So we're going to sell these for residentials in the United States. And then it gives it an ask, help me segment these as well, and then give it some clarity. So as you watch the student here in a second, you can see them kind of like critically thinking through what they're going to do.
The chief marketing officer for Nest. We're selling the smart thermostats for residential use in the United States. So that's some of the scope. And then my request wasn't just about strategy. I wanted it to break it out by segment. So I first asked it to segment the target markets. And then for each segment, propose a very short strategy that I could always double click on afterwards.
So you're seeing the student kind of start to build this, and then through the course of this assignment, they had to create multiple slides in a presentation and narrate it. You would see them start to critically think through what they were getting back. So if we jump ahead, I'm seeing what the output is from the GPT here and how they're kind of coming back. And it was like a lot of this stuff. It was fascinating to see the creativity they used. So some created charts, some had tables, columns. I mean, all sorts of interesting ways on how they're getting that back. And then you're seeing this prompt has evolved much, much more now. So instead of like, I'm trying to come up with a marketing strategy, now they're getting very specific on some stuff here and what the outputs were as well. And so we get into here.
Across the board for all strategies, the top 3 ways to increase sessions, conversions, and average order size. I've gone through this, to be honest. I couldn't actually think of anything to improve here.
So now the student has gone through multiple iterations at this point in the video, and they've got to the point where they feel like the prompts and how they've tweaked these prompts are exactly where they want, and they're confident in what it's producing as well. Based on how sophisticated their prompts got and how much they would evolve that over the course of this assignment, you could see if they'd really mastered the topic, because they had the critical thinking skills to say that isn't a good response, or that's not accurate, that's way off base. And it was really fun to watch. Global takeaways. 2 things. One is this is the worst AI will ever be. It's only going to continue to get better. And number 2 was just playing with it and getting the students playing with it. And I think as an instructor, if you can model how to learn in front of the students, while it can be a little bit uncomfortable at times, I think it really gets them excited, or it breaks down some of those barriers or inhibitions they might have to play with some of this technology as well. So something that's very bleeding edge and will be completely disruptive, in my opinion, to how things are going to work here in education and industry, society. Just showing them like, hey, don't be afraid of it. Let's just play with it. Let's see what we can do. And then giving them something that they're passionate around. They could pick the company they want to think about. They could use it to try and come up with creative ideas or an ad campaign or whatever. That really got them over that hurdle of playing with it as well.